I'm not suicidal, I'd never hurt myself. Everything I'm about to tell you is factual information that I implore you to look up for yourself. I've cited all the sources of information in this video and they're all linked down below. The year was 1888. A man named James H. McGraw begins building what would become one of the most powerful educational publishers in the world, McGraw-Hill. In 1909, it officially dubs the name, and McGraw-Hill becomes the publisher for all education throughout history. 1909 comes around and McGraw-Hill becomes a company that would go on to shape what millions of students read, what they study, and how they would understand the world. Fast forward to 1929 and McGraw-Hill officially goes public. From that moment forwards, education is no longer instruction. It becomes a part of the system. It becomes a part of markets, of scale, of influence, of profit. And that's a perfect lead-in for our next mystery man of the hour, Robert Maxwell. He was born in 1923, we think, and Robert Maxwell is just one of his many aliases. In fact, most investigators believe he had 9 other names before that. But Maxwell was not just any man. He would go on to build what the world would later know as the #1 global publishing empire on the planet. And Maxwell himself would be in charge of controlling a vast amount of scientific and academic information. Maxwell has built enough wealth in his life to acquire Macmillan Incorporated, which at the time was the largest textbook publisher in the entire United States. In 1989, he merged that company, his company, with McGraw-Hill's education division, creating the Macmillan McGraw-Hill Institution, the single largest textbook distributors in America. Hundreds of millions of students, one pipeline of information. So let's talk a little bit more about Robert Maxwell. That man was not just known for publishing. His entire life was surrounded by controversy. For decades, journalists, insiders, war leaders, colonels, generals, kings, intelligence sources, all of them having connections between Maxwell and foreign intelligence services, including, drumroll please, Israel. These claims have been both never proven or disproven. But the rumors, the first-hand witnesses, the sources, the lost information, it's all always been here. For now, that's all you need to know about Maxwell. Fast forward to 1991 though, and Maxwell accidentally fell off his yacht and died. What comes next is not speculation, it is a fact. In the midst of his death, investigations reveal that he had stolen hundreds of millions of dollars from pension funds. He was in charge of smuggling thousands of weapons to secret agencies, and he himself committed one of the most atrocious frauds in history. Practically overnight, his entire empire collapses. McGraw-Hill, now missing Maxwell, is already changed, influence. It's a brand new system, and that system continues, this time uninterrupted by Maxwell's, you could call them, side quests. Let's fast forward to 2013, and this is where things just, I feel like, always go wrong in history. In 2013, a global management firm, specifically Apollo, acquires McGraw-Hill Education. Now our education systems are in the hands of what SNL would call a financier. In 2021, Platinum, another equity firm, acquires it again, this time for $4.5 billion. And this one system, throughout all these years, has passed through publishers, financiers, and systems of power. The question isn't whether you were taught in school or not, because obviously you were taught. The question we ought to be asking is, who shaped the system that decided what was worth teaching and what was left out? Honestly, what else did they change?